Can hear. You folks are our half acre, our our half acre homestead, and you folks are life with the Wolfies. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm sorry, I'm eating a candy at the moment. How is everybody doing? Hey, Seashell, how are you, darling? Um, I've been making good on my promise, and I better pop this chat out here so I can see over here on our half acre homestead. I've been doing everything I promised. Hey, Chaos. I have been resting more. It was really hard for me to, as tired as I was through January, it was really hard for me to. Hey, Celeste Auto Care. Good night, Oma, if you're not gone already. Hi from Kitchener, Clara Quinn. Barefoot Chickens, hello. So it was kind of difficult for me to scale back, even though I was really tired because I've been doing this for a long time. And it's going to get noisy for a second, folks. Oh, Scheisenheimer. Hang on a second, folks. I'm really sorry. I do have my issues with these cell phone holders. Is that better? That's a little better. So, hey, Matthew, Stephen, Tina Elliott, Ambrose, Missouri Bell. Now, if you see me answering comments and you don't see them in the chat, it's because I'm simultaneously broadcasting on 2 channels. Our half acre homestead and life with the Wolfies. I had adjust my boot because the sides were digging into my leg. Hey, Leanne. Hey, Rosie. It's going good. Donna, how are you? Hi, Natalie. Hi, Janet. Ambrose. It's going pretty good. I'm going to see my Bubba. 2 more sleeps. I see my baby. Had a chat with Arthur was home. He was off work today, so he was there when we had our time. I am feeling some better. I'm just you know what? I don't know what I'm feeling, Joe. In all honesty, it's been really. Yeah, it's time to start tapping there, but it'll soon be time to start tapping here. And thank you for reminding me. It's just been. Now that I've stopped, it's like I don't know how to find my groove again. Right? And then I say, it's only February. You'll be fine. You'll be fine when it comes time to get excited. Or when it's time to, get into the garden and all that stuff. Now, somebody told me, hey, Angie Mac. Hey, Joe, how are you, darling? Hey. From Havelock. 9 times out of 10, we drive through Havelock when we drive to Peterborough because we take the number 7. Hi, Tina. Manson, Washington. I'm glad you're feeling somewhat better. You get your groove back once you hold Bubba. Yeah. I was talking to them today, and because Arthur was home. And I don't know what, I can't remember what brought it up, but he's like, nobody's going to tell me how to raise my child or something. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. It was like, I said, as a grandparent, I have experience. You know what I mean? And I think he misunderstood I think he misunderstood thinking I was going to interfere or maybe, push my way in because I was a mother first. It's not that. I just want him to know that I may have been a pretty crappy mother at times. But now that I'm a grandmother, I have seen the mistakes I have made and I have learned from them. And wouldn't it be foolish? I'll never forget when Arthur spent the day with his dad, but he wasn't feeling well. My sister was there at the time. I couldn't be there. My sister was there to be there because Arthur was only, not even a year old. And he wasn't feeling well, and he had a fever, and he just was, I thought he was teething and all that stuff. And then after his dad left and I put him down to bed, I woke up in the middle of the night, and he was soaked in sweat, and he had a rash all over his belly. And I phoned my sister in a panic. My sister's 11 years older than me and had 3 children before me, right? So, I already did. I sent him a text saying, it would, and I phoned her and I said, oh my God, because she had been looking after him. And so I phoned her when later on, and I said, he got soaked with sweat, and he had a pink, tiny, like a real, red pinky rash all over his tummy. She said, oh, that's what the fever was. I said, what? She said, roseola. She said, and I said, so it wasn't anything I did. She said, babies sometimes get unexplained fevers. And a lot of times it's just nothing other than their bodies just going through growth. It puts a lot of stress on that little body to grow so much, So, she said, did you, change him into something? I said, yeah, he's in cotton now, because it was February, right? And I changed him into, I changed his bedding because it was soaked. Yeah, of course, I changed. But the thing is I now felt safer because I understood what had just happened, right? Why did I understand what just happened? Because my sister had already been there first. So I'm not going to, I don't want to be a parent. I want to be a grandparent with all that implies, right? Oh, you started seeds. Me too, Stephen. I started I'm going to ask you something about marigolds in a second. So my point is, that I'm not going to tell him I'm a better parent just because I have more experience. I'm not going to tell him I'm a better parent. I'm not. I'm now a grandparent, and that's different. That's just different. I'm not ever going to, try and interfere with the parenting of my grandchildren, right? But the truth is, there may be something that they are, banging their heads over someday that I'll just understand because I've been there, right? Like, don't smoke in the house with children. Ear infections, massive ear infections, asthma. Don't have wall-to-wall carpet in your house with children. Asthma, especially cheap carpet, asthma, right? These are all things that came at the expense of experience, right? Hey, Kathy Ponder, how's it going? Well, I know. I think for a split second he may have thought that I was going to be. Now, I was your mother and I know better. I don't know better. I just know I have experience. That's all. I am never going to try and out-parent my own children. That's just stupid. It's their child. It's not my journey. My journey is the grandparent. Well, and hi, Sean. And yes, Joe, the parents educate and the grandparents spoil. But hi, Wendy. But do you remember, Wendy, when you stayed with Arthur while Donnie came to visit when I had to go out, and he had a fever and he wasn't feeling up to snuff, and then after you went home, and you woke up in the middle of the night just drenched in sweat with a pink rash all over his tummy. Remember you said, I phoned you and went, what's going on? What's going on? She said, it's roseola. He just had a fever. She said, there's no reason. Or was it, there's like scarlatina or roseola. They call it all different kinds of things. It's basically just a fever. Absolutely. They will. I'm just saying I don't want to tell my kids how to parent. I'm never going to do that. But if they need help, I'm here with experience. That's all. Love, 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 teach, 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 share, share, share. Hey, Susie Q. Susie Q, I got to say something to you. Gracie and her little gingerbread toy. Now, anything with Kevlar, she's torn apart. It's like a dare. But this little gingerbread man, Susie Q, it's her Susu. It's her baby. She uses it like a soother. She doesn't suck on it. She just puts it in her mouth and goes, I want to see if I can. I can't replicate it. She does this. It goes in her mouth. She's not chewing it. She's not sucking it. She's just having it. And it's the one thing she has not got to get my boombox. Okay, Wendy. So, where did my chat go? Where did my chat go? Oh, for heaven's sakes. Where did my chat go? Sorry, guys. This is, you know. So I've been having fun. I've been playing in the dirt. Thank you, Stephen. You're here. Self-soothing, yes. I was watching a video of someone canning, but she did not let the canner cool to the touch. Is her food safe? As long as they were sealed, they were sealed. You can open them when they're still hot to touch, as long as they're not going to burn you. You lift the lid away from you, and as long as everything seals. But you don't want to open them when they're too hot, or the amount of the cool air rushing in will siphon liquid off in your jars. So cooling them off safe to touch is the best place. But if they're sealed, and that's fine. Stephen, are you still here, sweetheart? Somebody told me hi, Deborah Ramirez, that are you planting too soon when these be planted outside? No, I don't plant. I'm not starting too soon. Trust me. For me, I get things as big as I can so that when they go outside, because I have a short growing season. My growing season's from like May 24th to mid-October if I'm lucky. As long as the pressure has released, it's fine. Exactly. Thank you, Joe. Now, somebody told me that to plant marigolds, like I planted a bunch outside in the bin, in the winter sowing thing. Okay. Do you remember? Never mind. Anyway, and I had a couple marigolds come up that I started in the house, but I started a lot. And someone said you have to push them in point side down into the soil or they don't root properly. I went, really? So I'm looking at my marigolds today and I got a ton more from the garden. So I started picking through the ones that, now I realized something. And so please tell me if I'm right, Stephen. I realized something, that when I put the seed down in the soil, if it doesn't go in, like my soil is a little bit damp because everything's germinating, right? If the marigold seed won't push down in, I'm going to show you the marigold seeds. I'll be right back. Oi! Oi! Jesus, wet. Here's the crap out of it. You all right, baby? All right, so here's the marigold seeds I got from my garden. Now, I don't know, somewhere around 4B5, somewhere around there. Now, these are marigold seeds. Okay? This is what they look like. See if I can get this a little better. Now, see how one end is kind of black? Here's a good one. I've discovered that these seeds, it does not want to focus. these seeds, I sat down, I pulled out all these seeds, and where the ones were coming up, I went around, went and sticking these in, but I was sticking them black side down. Now the thing is they say, someone said that their friend worked in a greenhouse and you have to plant them, you know, poking them down in the soil like this, but she didn't say which end. Now I know that when the flower dies, this is what holds the petals. And when the flower dies, the head goes down and falls this way. But I'm pretty sure that that's the seed end. Does anybody know what I'm talking about here? So I went in my thing and I stuck a whole bunch of these in, point side down. Hey, Kim Couch, how are you, darling? Also early teething. My grandbaby and is in her 4th month. Those baby teeth are growing. I received 4 seeds of hope. Can't wait for planting. Yeah, well, you know, we're going to do it again in the fall, but from now on, it's going to be only once a year in the fall because I've been working really hard at getting on a system that works. Black side down. Thank you, Raf, my darling. If you did a series on starting seeds to planting, I would love it. Michelle, honey, how long have you been with us? Because if you hop over to our half-acre homestead, there are thousands of videos. I do videos on starting seeds every year, don't I, dear? And I have tried and failed and tried and failed and tried and failed and had wins. It's just been these last few years that I've actually been getting the hang of it. And it's just practice. Will you do the Christmas cards this year? That's what we're doing. When I say in the fall, I mean, I'll be announcing it at the end of October. I'll be getting all the addresses through November, and everybody will get their list by December 1st. And I'm going to be ruthless. Yeah, me too, because I have tons of them, Joe. And I've got all them cabbages that came up. I want to, the marigolds did so well. Well, you know what, Tanya? You'll just find another way of doing something. You may not be able to can, but maybe you can dehydrate something lighter weight. Or maybe you're just going to get really good at couponing and sales, right? There's never, you know, God doesn't close a door that he doesn't open a window, right? Do I ever ferment my veggies? Oh, excuse me, it's really hot in here. I make sauerkraut, but the truth is I'm not a fan. So I would really like a freeze dryer, but hi, Peggy Stray. I would really like a freeze dryer, but the truth is they're just too, their prices are too high. I would never get my money's worth out of them, right? Hey, Lola Granola. With the move, I haven't gotten the seeds in the mail yet. I'll be doing that tomorrow. That's fine. That's fine. It isn't. Wendy, stop that. I love you. Why don't you just become a patron instead? And then it's cheaper because it's only $7.50 a month. You know what I mean? But thank you. I appreciate that, Wendy. I do. So I haven't done a video on it, but hey, darling. Hi, Lori. I've never had any luck yet with sauerkraut. Oh, I do good sauerkraut. Great sauerkraut. Maybe prices on freeze dryers will come down. They are a little finicky too. Well, the thing is, you fermented several things this year. I love carrots, cauliflower, and Jerusalem artichokes. Well, there you go. It's basically just pickling, isn't it? So I do pickles, but I don't ferment. I do sauerkraut, but I still have sauerkraut in my pantry from like 2019 or something. Is there a way to make our own white vinegar that we use in canning? Well, here I'm going to tell you something. The vinegar, apple cider vinegar I made should have sat longer. I still have 1 bottle that's evaporated down that much, and I'm going to be checking it. I don't think those acid strips were that reliable. With higher power bills, freeze dryers may not be a good time to have one. Exactly, Donna. That's a really good point. But I have a freeze dryer, and you would be most definitely get your money back in no time. I freeze dry everything. I love the Seeds of Hope Exchange. I've received several seeds. Me too. And lovely notes from fellow followers. Oh, that's wonderful. The black part is the seed. I have never poked them in the dirt, and I have tons and tons come up just by scattering them. Hey, Edie Cook. I bought the London Sunshine dehydrator from your link. Love dehydrating now. Oh, isn't that a wonderful thing? Isn't that a thing to have? I just love that dehydrator. So yeah, if you haven't noticed, I'm getting baby chicks hopefully tomorrow. It's too early for me here. Well, I mean, I can get them probably in April. But I still haven't had Howie agree to help me build a pen in the greenhouse. Do you hear me? I said I'm talking about building a pen in the greenhouse. I mean, I just have to put up make sure he has the proper materials, the 2x4s, the hinges, the staple gun, the nails, the obvious stuff, right? And then I will invest in some 1/2-inch hardware cloth. And that way, if we build the pen in the greenhouse with 1/2-inch hardware cloth, weasels can't get in. Nothing can get in them. So we can go away to the races and just make sure they have lots of food and water, and they'll be fine for the weekend. 10 years. I love ferment. It's easy and ready in just 3 days. Ferment fruit, yeah. We just ate a jar from 2016. I have, every once in a while, here you can rent a coop and the chickens. Get out of town. Where is that? I've received some seeds of hope. Hi, Ninja Clan Kathy. You can pickle with any vinegar as long as it's the proper acid percentage, right? I live in an apartment now, and I'm still raising food in containers. I wish I could have chickens and a milk cow again, maybe one day. Well, Kim, I love your bread. You make bread like me. You do a wonderful job. What's marigolds? Marigolds. I don't think I have one with a picture on them. Let me just see if I have a package with the picture on them. Marigold, there's all different kinds. See, I've been organizing my seeds. There's all my carrots. This is for my daughter-in-law, Mel, because she wants mostly herbs. Marigold, oh, right. I did flowers. I did a whole thing of flowers here. Where'd they go? There they are. Okay, so here's my flowers. Let me see. I'm sure I have a marigold package in here somewhere. I love hollyhocks. Whoever sent me the double hollyhocks, thank you so much. That's a tomato. That doesn't belong in there. This is a marigold, honey. Whoever asked me, this is a marigold. Okay? And they come in like reds, golds, and yellows. And the smaller ones that have the red and the gold and the stripes, those are French marigolds. And French marigolds, bugs don't like. And so I found out when I bought French marigolds and I planted them around my cabbage. And I was able to harvest cabbage with only a couple of holes in the outer leaves because the marigolds kept the bugs away. Now, mind you, early cabbages are best. I have seed fever. I'm giving my daughter's teachers flower seeds for Valentine's. That's so sweet. Do you like your grow lights? I was thinking of ordering. Well, they seem to be doing the job, eh? And they're not as bright as, now I have this one and 2 more to set up once things get bigger. They're a companion plant. Marigolds are definitely a companion plant. But yeah, so far so good. I like the grow lights. Not too fussy on the blue, red, and pink ones. I like these ones that have white in them. There's just something about light that needs white as far as I'm concerned. Hey, Debbie. Um, any chance you could come to Detroit metro area for a meetup? I missed the pizza party one because I was out of town. I was so disappointed. You know what, honey? Howie, when are we going to be allowed to cross the border without bullshit or without hassle? What? Won't be until after May 11th, at least. Hey, Alice. Hey, Sassy. Do I have favorite YouTube channels that I watch? Who has time? I don't even watch my own. Right? I just go and answer questions. Okay, think about this, okay? I have started my Cooking with Cannabis channel again on Rumble. And if you're not a Cooking with Cannabis subscriber, you really should, especially if you're a patron, you really should subscribe to my Cooking with Cannabis channel here on YouTube, because it's got 18,400. It's lost a few hundred subscribers over the years because YouTube won't let me put anything. If I put the video I put on Rumble today, if I had put it on YouTube, they would have taken my channel down. Right? So, and I can't afford to lose that channel because that's where we have Freaky Friday. So, hey, Grandma Gina. Dark Lord Minute. Penny Jeffress. Will they grow in the desert? I don't know. Hi, Deborah. But I don't, thing is, here's the deal, just for you, okay? Just for your FYI, person who asked me if I have a favorite YouTube channel. I have 3. Actually, I have 5, but only 3 in operation. 3 channels in operation on YouTube. I have 2 channels that I'm starting in operation on Rumble. Now, I know my kitchen isn't always perfect. It's not a studio. Now, I think you're going to hear this now. I know that I plant and play with dirt on the same island that I cook with. I know all these things, but here's something you guys got to know. I work 7 days a week. 7 days a week. I'm now, just right now, taking some time off because my health is just, my health isn't bad, but I'm exhausted. Okay? I am the idea person. I am the stage manager. I am the camera person. I am the editor. I am the actor. No, I'm not even the actor. I'm the person in the videos and the editor, and I answer all the questions. 5 functioning channels. When you ask, is there any YouTube channels that I like to watch? I don't even know what's out there. I used to follow Heather the Needy Homesteader because, you know, she was a beginner. She was a newbie when I was on. And Noreen of Noreen's Kitchen, you know, the original Homestead Honeys, Cat's Cradle, stuff like that. But I don't have time. I make time. For instance, tonight's supper was goulash, and it was going to be your video for tomorrow. You see me make goulash, right? There's 100 different ways you can make goulash. It's all about being a pantry pull meal. What it cost me was the meat, which is already paid for, and a can of mushrooms. Everything else came out of the garden or out of my stores or out of my pantry, right? The card that I put in the camera was broken, and I didn't know it. And that whole video has gone to waste. And part of me just wants to, days like that, you just want to quit. And you can't. So, Cat's Cradle, I can't speak for Cat's Cradle, but she went through some major changes in her life, in her family life and stuff. And she she came, you know, back down from YouTube. to give her family time to adjust to what was going on in their lives. Nothing bad, just, she had priorities, right? So that's kind of all I know. People underestimate how much work a YouTube channel is. I think it's insulting when they tell YouTubers to get a real job. Yeah, I know. Get a real job. I've been working at this for 13 years now. It'll be 14 in September. I've been on YouTube for 13 years. And if you watch right from the beginning on our Half Acre Homestead, because all of the videos are in playlists by year, okay? And if you watch, you will see how I went from not knowing anything to being pretty sure-footed at what I'm doing today. But there's still a lot of technical stuff that I just cannot keep up with. Like, I would love to do podcasts. I would love to do podcasts. But the truth is, I'm not sure how. I know I got a fancy microphone. I completely forgot that this is the microphone I used usually to record the stories on my reading channel. Which, by the way, somebody asked me to continue reading. I will do that next week. I was supposed to do it this week, but again, I'm not killing myself right now. I can't afford to. We finally finished up the pork roast. Scott not eating well makes a big difference. Hopefully that changes real soon. Well, I hope his appetite picks up, sweetheart. I hope the meds they've got him on. Awesome. And you can have mine too. Thanks. I have lots. The nursery put all their seeds free before they closed end of the year and told me to please take them all. Wow. Really, Matthew? 12 years. So here's the deal. I'm noticing the interest on our Half Acre Homestead waning. But I mean, there's only so many things I can do. So you're going to see less and less videos on our Half Acre Homestead. You are going to see more racing videos later on. Like, I've got footage of Howie doing something with the motor. I have no idea. I'm hoping everybody else will know what he's talking about. But that's going on Life with the Wolfies. Life with the Wolfies is becoming more of our channel, right? Our Half Acre Homestead is mostly gardening, canning, cooking, seed starting, home economics. I'm even starting to move my crafts over to the Life with the Wolfies channel to give them a new viewing and a new life. You're now listening to the reading channel. Oh, wonder. Well, I tell you, everybody seems to love the Little House in the Prairie books that I read. But the thing is learning to, you're also like our Half Acre. What's the name of your Cooking with Cannabis channel on YouTube? Cooking with Cannabis. Can you find it, Seashell, and put it up on Life with the Wolfies? It's just starting again. I've got, some older videos because YouTube won't let me put anything they consider dangerous up. And apparently me even, would be dangerous to them, right? So blessings to all. Hitting the button. Okay, Ambrose, take care, sweetheart. So no, honey. It's not going away. Our Half Acre Homestead isn't going away. It's just not going to be 7 days a week anymore. I've been trying to tell you guys this for years. It's not going to be 7 days a week anymore because at this time of year, there isn't anything for me to do 7 days a week except pantry pull meals, updates, tea breaks, seeds, watching seeds grow. It's a pretty boring friggin' thing. But then this is going to give me time to work more on my reading channel, which I am supposed to be doing. I have a book to finish. And there's going to be more stuff on Life with Wolfies. And if I get some chickens this year, well, then we're going to just do that all over again, aren't we? Right? Just sub to everything so you don't miss anything. Exactly. My mailbox address, are you talking about my email address or my mailing address? Because if you want my mailing address, email me at connectedheartsfamily@gmail.com and let me know why you want my address. Because cannabis was used in biblical... Listen. He made the cattle. You know, it's a God-given herb. There goes my timer went off. It's a God-given herb, and I want that back on for a few minutes. It's an herb. It really is. So the fact that they classed it as a drug is hogwash. It's an herb. I always put your videos on the TV while I'm in the kitchen. Well, thank you, Holly. The tea breaks were a lifesaver this past year. Thanks, I'm already subscribed. I know you are, Linda. On your winter sewing containers, punch 2 holes in the front of the container, one on top, one on bottom, then twist tie them to help hold them closed. I'm not sure I am understanding. Punch 2 holes in the front, one on top, one on bottom, and then twist tie them. Not sure I understand what you mean by that. My winter sewing containers have holes in the top, and even the Epsom salts one had enough holes on that flat lid that it will rain when the snow melts or if it rains. Okay? But there are holes in the bottom. There are holes in the slopes of the bottles and in the top of the lid, and they all have their lids off. It's not just air circulation. They're going to need moisture too. How are the plants doing in my window? Not too shabby. You know, the other one I know now I should have started up its seeds on 2015. Thank you, Walk Humbly. I love that. Walk Humbly. Thanks for sharing so much love and advice. I don't give advice, honey. I share experience, strength, and hope. I do not give advice. Okay? Even when you ask. Why? Because I am not a professional in any way, shape, or form of any kind. The only thing I seem to understand is the lessons I've learned in life. The lessons that I learned through blood, sweat, tears, mistakes, bad choices. All of these things are, things that I learned along the way. And that's all I share is the experience that they taught me, the strength that they gave me, and the hope that came afterwards when I learned something new. That's all. That's it. That's all. It's to keep the lids closed instead of duct tape. Oh, I see. Okay. You mean with the door on the big bottle? Well, we'll see. Right? Bev, none of the videos are boring. We learn from every pantry pull. Well, you're not going to learn from tonight's goulash. But I've got to actually phone Briar and ask him what he wants for supper tomorrow night. I'm thinking meatloaf because we had goulash tonight. But I'm going to offer him meatloaf and mashed potatoes or chicken and rice. We shall see. None of the... had such a stressful day today. Oh, great. I was able to make it. Hi, Cindy. Cindy's home. Thank you, Doreen. Can you please pull a card for me? I'm having a really hard time lately. Okay, the card that wants you is not here. It's here. Okay, this is for... Wow, I didn't even say his name. It's ready to pop out. Manette. Holy crow. Cheesley Crow. Okay, I'm going to pull the top too because a pile fell off. Okay, you got Ladybug and good luck. In my home, Ladybug means when you see a ladybug, it's usually family visiting from the other side. But this one says, Ladybug, good luck. You are a bright energy. Let worry go. And be happy here and now. Feel good about being a loving and colorful you. You bless the world with color and good luck. And you don't feel that at all. You don't think you're worthy of that title. But I'm going to get to that in a second. The Ram. Perseverance. You have many gifts. No problem can withstand the power of your mind. With patience, you can reach your mountain of joy. your mountaintop. Sorry. Why did I say mountain of joy? It said mountaintop. With patience, you can reach your mountaintop. Never give up, and good luck will follow. So this is good luck and perseverance. What I'm getting, Manette, is that you're facing a lot of, I want to say decisions, but they're really not decisions. That it almost feels like a lot of self-doubt, right? You don't see what I see. You don't see what everybody who loves you sees. You are just going to have to learn to trust that you are worth loving and that you have gifts. You just have to persevere and the luck will follow. It's not going to happen by you making it happen. It's going to happen by you letting go and allowing it to happen and accepting it for the gift it is. I have no idea what I just said or if that meant anything to you. Boor and beaten. How I wish I had a traditional at home. Get a home food is prepared is so much of a moral boost. I hear you, right? I mean, that's one thing. When I'm first Howie, he was pretty picky. He was like meat and potatoes. As far as meat and potatoes and corn, and as far as he was concerned, a salad was something you got on your sub. And after 32 years, our wedding anniversary is 30 years the end of July, but it'll be 33 years, July 4th, that we jumped the broom. And you think I'm, a traditional woman. Yeah, I am. That's the way I was raised. However, we don't just come into relationships and everything's hunky-dory. We come into all relationships with baggage, with poor parenting choices that our parents made, things that have happened to us in life. And you really do cleave to one another. You start I've said this before, you start carving out pieces of yourself that you no longer need. And I don't mean that in the physical sense, but in a way I do mean the physical sense. I no longer have to shovel the driveway. Thank God. I've had several hernia operations because my husband has a snowblower. I put the garbage in the porch. I don't have to lug it up to the end of the driveway. Why? Because that's what my husband does. He fulfills things in my life for me, just like me getting up to make him breakfast, even if it's just a bowl of cereal and a glass of milk, and to make his lunch every day. This was us. And then one day, right? Things get little pieces and you end up coming together like a lock and key. No sexual intonation there. You come together and you become one. That's why it's so common when in people that have been married for over 30 or 40 years to pass away when their partner died, not long, within usually 2 years of after their partner dies. Because you're not just trying to walk on one leg. You're like, the cut in you is, you're not just cut in half. You're ripped apart and you're floundering around, flopping around, trying to figure out how to walk with half a heart, half a body, half, you know what I mean? Half an understanding of how the world works. People don't realize that marriage isn't for sissies. It really isn't. So, well, I'm glad that makes sense. Did I say your name right? Minette? I can't call you, the whole Dark Lord thing. It just doesn't work for me. It just really doesn't work for me. That's all. Procrastination. 34 people in the house. It's stressful and a wedding come up for one of them. It's, you know what? Just breathe. You know why? Because you have the power to make everything run smooth, and it's not by stressing over shit. It's by not stressing and just allowing things to flow. Be observant of how things flow and where you can be of most service, right? I love hearing anything you have to say. You're so down to earth. Well, sometimes someone says, you're as different from me as earth to air. And I said, well, which one am I? That's the thing, you really don't know, do you? No, my name's Mud most of the time, right? Hey Bev, I finally got to see you live. I always miss these streams. Dang it. You are looking good, my friend. Well, thank you. I'm getting a lot of rest, believe it or not. If my dishes don't get finished one day, they get finished the next, right? I'll be doing, tomorrow's Friday, so I'm going to be cleaning up and getting ready to go see my baby boy, the bubba. Go and see my baby boy, the bubba. He worked a full-time job. I did everything else and worked a full-time job. Well, Patriot check. And the thing is I was raised by parents who say, you made your bed, you lie in it, kind of thing. No, that's not good enough. Okay? That's a different generation. My generation is, you wait until you find the person that is going to love you as much as you love them. Because there's going to be times when you're pulling in the harness that one's going to fall behind and the other one's got to pull up the slack. And it's not always pleasant, right? It's, you finally, there's a lot of hard times come through a marriage, and you see, God forbid, but you see your partner's failings and your own, and then you work through them. Marriage ain't for sissies. It's not. And I find too many people are falling in love with the idea of love, right? They spend more. You guys have heard this all before. They spend more on their wedding than they do on prepping for the life they have together. I knew a guy once. I actually dated him when I was like 15. Anyway, I knew a guy once who I had a lot of crushes, right? I saw the good in everybody, right? Even the shitty people. And he ended up getting married later on. And when they got home from their honeymoon in Hawaii, they said, we're getting a divorce. Because they didn't want to cancel the wedding because so much had gone into it. I never planned on getting divorced. Ever. No one plans on getting divorced. But I wanted to hedge my bets by waiting until I knew there was somebody who was going to give as much to the relationship as I did. Otherwise, one person's always pulling harder and they get broke down real hard. I lost my husband of 20 years in August 21, and it seems unreal. I still want to call him when something happens. Yeah. August 21, Howie had a heart attack. And I'm the one who always goes, boom, boom, boom. Here's what we do. Here's what we do. Here's what we do. Especially if it's me but Howie having a heart attack, right? I mean, I come from a family of heart attacks. And heart attacks, this one started with my dad. And he dropped dead in the hospital. I come from a family of heart attacks, cracked chests, bypass surgeries, and near misses. Right? So when Howie had a heart attack, I had no idea. Like my whole life just stopped. And I didn't know what to do. Why? Because here was this horrible threat hanging over my head, because heart attack to me meant death and tragedy. And so I did the only things I knew how to do. I started phoning. Thank God it was during the pandemic, because we got some leeway with loan pay, like, car payments and mortgage payments and stuff like that. But the truth is, I went into survival mode. I went into complete survival mode. And I had a hard time just being there for Howie because I only know I can help somebody else in survival mode. But when I'm in survival mode, I'm staggered. I'm staggering, you know? Lead poisoning too. Yeah. Like my sister will tell you, Windy Eye there. You know, we grew up in an industrial district of Toronto, like a blue collar district where the houses were built over industrial waste. Well, lakeshore of Lake Ontario in Toronto, right? And there's 5 of us kids, and my brother Bob and I are the youngest, and we got the worst because while they were digging it up and checking and testing the soil and everything, it was landing on the concrete in our school where we were playing, and we were all getting infected with lead on a daily basis. So my brother Bob and I are like, we're pretty crippled up, right? But I get up every morning because this is the thing. You were a wreck for a while, and not being able to go to the hospital sucked. Absolutely. That's what I was talking about, Win. Lead poisoning, too. Yeah. 4-day homestead, be your own best friend, be the friend that you miss. So, absolutely. But the truth is my dad, when my mom died, my dad said the only thing that kept him going was the fact that, I was 9 and my brother was 12. Not quite 12 yet. And I can't even remember how old my brother is. I know we're 2 or 2.5 years, 1.5 or 2.5 years apart. 61, Mary Jane was 62. Kathy was 63. I'm 64. Okay, I got it. So the thing is when I say marriage is not for sissies, I had a heart attack on February 14th. It changed my whole life. Absolutely, it changes your life. Howie I have to remind him sometimes, and sometimes I have to remind myself, he's not the workhorse anymore. Thank God we got him a new snowblower, right? If he can't carry stuff for me, I figure out how we could do it together. Like in the wintertime, if I had to, I can leave the stuff in the truck until he gets home. But do I want him carrying, all these grocery bags in? So I make several trips and I just do it slowly. And last time I brought my own groceries in, right? So exactly, Minette. Exactly. Terry Gadke, you get up every day and put a smile on for your kids. We talk about them and laugh. He was only 61. I just turned 59. So yeah, that's really close to home. But the truth is it doesn't matter. Yeah, honestly, I'm not saying it doesn't matter that you've lost your husband. That's horrible. And I hope to God that I die before Howie, because there's just no way I'm going to manage. That's just it. Right? But the truth is you get up in the morning. If you have a KitchenAid mixer with the white attachments, they may contain lead. Okay. I have most of them are stainless steel. I only have one that has the paint on it. When you get up in the morning and you put your feet on the ground and you get up. Yes, this morning I kind of went, ooh, almost lost my balance. Because I can't, you know what? If you can't get it, then just go down and scoop some of it into a smaller container and bring it up, because you can't carry it. We have to learn a new way of doing things. But as we get older, but the truth is, this is my life. I get up every morning, and whether I'm pouring cereal or making pancakes, I get up because first day Howie got up from under the same blankets as me. All I had was homemade bread and margarine in the house, but he had toast because he went to work with food in his stomach. That's just who I am, and it's been that way ever since. The only time it isn't like that now is in the summertime, because Howie pulls the coach up into the driveway, plugs it into the barn, and he can sleep with air conditioning. I can't. I can for a little bit, but not long, before my legs start to swell. And he will come home from work and have supper, and we'll watch TV. And then I will make him his lunch and give him a kiss and hand him his lunch, and he'll go out in the coach and sleep. And then he lets me sleep in all summer long. So, I mean, there's trade-offs. But the trick for anything. Now, you know what I'm going to say, because I say it all the time. The trick for anything is just keep putting one foot in front of the other and saying, thank you, Creator, God, whatever your faith is. Thank you. I'm alive and above ground. It's a really good start to my day. Everything else is gravy, right? I get up, my husband's breathing. My dog still knows how to pee outside. Food in the fridge, roof over my head, blanket on my bed. Life is good, right? And I'm going to hold my grandbaby for the first time this weekend. And by God, little Bubba is going to be my little Bubba. I can't wait to get my hands on him. Treating yourself as your best friend means to me, if you love yourself, you are strong. Well, see, loving yourself to me means, again, this is for the new people, because I'm preaching to the choir, to the other folks in that have been around me for a few years. Loving yourself means not accepting unacceptable behavior. Loving yourself means being honest to the best of your ability. Because if you're not honest with yourself, you can't be honest with anybody else. And I'm working through some issues right now, right? I'm working through some issues right now that I have to decide whether I have to, take a different path because I have addictive behaviors, right? And no, I'm not in drinking and drugs or nothing like that. But anything can be an addictive behavior. That's what you have to look at, right? Like how he wants, not just addictive behavior, but how he would love when Gracie passes. Gracie's 7 years old now. She's going to be 7 on Valentine's Day. That's actually, her birthday's on the 11th, but we tell her it's Valentine's Day, so she feels special. That's right. God blessed her with a kidney transplant. Oh my God. Oh, that's awesome, Penny. My daughter struggled for 10 years, she said. No matter what, she had to keep moving. On Easter, God bless her with a kidney transplant. God kept her. At 34, she is finally free from dialysis. The thing is, I never knew you were from Toronto, too. I grew up on the corner of Queen and Carlo. Ruth, we were neighbors. Do you know where I grew up? Carlaw is right over by Withrow Park, isn't it? Wendy, isn't Carlaw by like the next street over from Withrow? Or is it down towards Jones? I grew up on Papin Queen on a little side street called Blong Avenue. Toronto. Exactly. But the thing is it's all about choices too, isn't it? Like, I know people, there's many of us that suffer from chronic pain and illnesses. And it would be so much easier. Like the day I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia on top of my arthritis and other things, right? There's no such thing as coincidence, Ruth. It's God incidents as far as I'm concerned. Everything happens for a reason. Absolutely everything. What was I just saying? I lost it. Right. So I remember when I was diagnosed, 2012, I believe it was, with fibromyalgia or was it 2011? I can't remember. I know it took me 6 months to a year to get my marijuana license because it wasn't legal then. It was only medically legal, and it was a process. I had to go through every painkiller and anti-inflammatory in the book and react to them all before they finally threw up their hands in the air and said, okay, I'm going to send you to a pain specialist who's going to put you on. Because I even reacted to the synthetic marijuana pill, right? Relief factor. And he said he thinks it's working already. Awesome. It is a small world, especially now that we're all getting together on the internet, right? My fibro, right? So I went into the local store, I think the Brennan's Hill store, and I was, chatting with another customer and the lady behind the counter, and I'm ashamed to say I can't remember her name, even though she was a local. And I said, I just got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And she said, oh my God, that's horrible. And I said, really? And she said, yeah, my daughter got diagnosed with that. She went to bed and never got out of her bed again. She was like, she became bedridden. That could have been me, but for the grace of God, there go I. Except I'm stubborn. Ripping hernias, shoveling sand to get the, all these things I had to learn. What is acceptable to put my body through and what is not acceptable to put my body through. And I can't shovel. Okay? I could barely walk. But I can't shovel and I can't climb stairs. But that doesn't mean I can't garden. It doesn't mean I can't get out of bed and make my husband breakfast. It doesn't mean that I have to stop living just because I have chronic pain. I know many people who just go to bed and give up. And it would be so easy, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be easy? Hey, Ruth, where did you go to school? Public school in Toronto. I went to Bruce on Larchmount. I had nightmares for the longest time that, because in Bruce School on Larchmount in Toronto, my dad and my uncle Art were on a set of papers on the wall because they both served. They were both in the military for World War II. Both my grandfathers were in World War I, right? And I remember on Remembrance Day that we would all go down and do the plaques and pay honor to all the people that lived and died who went to that school that were military people. And my uncle's name was on there along with my dad's, but there was a little red cross beside my uncle's name. And I would have nightmares that those documents were gone, that the school had been torn down, that they weren't there anymore. So one day we went to, I don't know where it was. We were picking up Briar or something. We were in Toronto and we drove all the way from from Roncesvalles, all the way down to my school. And Howie said, do you want to go into the school? Because it was weekday. He said, do you want me to stop at the school? I said, really? And he goes, Bev, you've been having nightmares that your dad's name has been removed from the walls of the school. It's not like it's giving you horrors, but it is bothering you, right? So I went in, and when I walked in the double doors where the office used to be on the left and, all that, the plaques used to be on the wall. When I walked in, they were gone. And I went, so I walked into the office. I turned left and walked into the office, and I said, okay, this is going to sound really crazy, but my dad and my uncle both went to the school. All of me and all of my siblings went to this school. And I explained about, and he said, oh, I know what you're looking for. We moved it. And he took me around the corner to another section where it was, and there it was. And I've lost the pictures that I got him to take of me standing beside it. But my heart was at rest. So life is all about showing up, isn't it? Life is about making choices, and then living with the responsibility of how they play out. But if you want to live, then you got to get out of bed, or you got to get up and wash your hair and brush your teeth or something. Even if you can't get out of bed, you have to find a reason to draw a breath. And we know how to do that, don't we? We start counting our blessings, right? Because when you're counting the blessings of all the wonderful things that you actually have in your life, then there's no room for anything else but the blessings, is there? Now, listen, guys, it's time to go. I want to go to bed. And, I have to read before I go to bed every night. I have to read. Oh, I never asked. Ruth, did I see where you went? Okay, I got to ask you, Ruth, how old are you? Anyway, I'm going to say a prayer, right? And if you don't want to stay, that's fine. It's non-denominational. You do you. You tap into your faith. You talk to the source of your faith. I will talk to mine. The only thing we need to bring us all together is the sure knowledge that the loving divine light of the Creator's love unites us all and can always keep us together. All right? But if you don't want to stay, that's okay. There is no judgment. That's not our place to do that, okay? I have been struggling this message I need. Oh, well, thank you, Sandy. I'm really glad that, what we talked about, is all good. So for anybody who's leaving, take care. God bless. For those who wish, hey, Judith, how are you, darling? Judith, are you in Nova Scotia by any chance? Or maybe in Florida right now, but do you live in Nova Scotia or recently moved to? Kathy! Oh my gosh, Kathy! I didn't even know you were there. Folks, Catherine M. Williams Kleinwort used to own Kleinwort's General Store in Apsley when I was a teenager, from 12 to 19. And that woman had more patience for me. Right? She was on the Board of Education, if I remember correctly, Kathy. Hi, Bridget. And you know what? It's so nice to see you here, Kathy. Mwah. Anyway, clearing up my dad's property, and just recently my mom's was the most difficult for me, Bev. When you said get up and shower, past month, my reality. Thank you. There you go. Syracuse, New York. Your husband's from Canada. That's right. That's right. What was the name of the store? Kleinwort's General Store. Was it not, Kathy? So, Kathy was one of these ladies that you never realized where she came from. How did she end up in such a small town? Because she always had, her makeup was just so, her hair was just so. She was always beautifully soft, well-spoken. And she always had little tidbits of wisdom that sunk in, Kathy, even though you may not have. Do you remember? Do you remember Lance? He came in and he wanted a t-shirt. They did t-shirts in her store. And he wanted a t-shirt with Yosemite Sam and his guns. And it said F off, but spelled out. He wanted that put on the t-shirt. She said, I can't do that. I can't do that. She said, I'm going to tell you how to do it and you can do it, but I can't do that. I won't do that. Right? Do you remember that, Kathy? School trustee. Yes. And just thanks for being here, Kathy. It's an honor. It is. Anyway, all right. For all those who care to, let's close with some spiritual nourishment. Right? Let's do some deep breathing to breathe in the positivity, breathe out the negativity, breathe in the light, breathe out the darkness, breathe in the hope, and breathe out the despair. Okay? You connect to your creator. I will connect to mine. Okay? Because guess what? We all have individual relationships with our creator, don't we? All right. Here we go. Take care, Natalie. Mwah. Hey, God, creator and source of everything. How's it going? I'm not being disrespectful, folks. God and I have an understanding. We talk all the time. God, thank you for bringing us together today and for the experience and strength and hope that we can share with each other and enjoy each other's company. Thank you for all the folks that have participated in the Seeds of Hope greeting card exchange. We'll be doing that again in the fall, and every year that I'm able to do it, we will do it. And thank you for the melt today, God, because it reminded me that spring is it's halfway here. But God, like I said earlier, there's a lot of people having a hard time, getting up in the morning, finding a reason to go on. But you know why we're here, God. You know why we have reasons to go on, even if we don't see them some days. But God, we're going to lift all those people up to you because I know you have our back. We know you have our back. But there's a lot of people who can't see it, so we're going to lift them up out of the fog and the darkness to you, God, so that the light of your love can pour down over them. And if even for a moment, it gives them what they need to do to move forward one more step, then thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you for filling us with the light of your divine love so that every day we go forward living a life by example to the best of our ability, not judging each other, only judging ourselves and seeing where we are wanting and asking you to help us get there. But we know you got us, God. He got the whole world in his hands, and the universe and the galaxy and the multiverse and all of those wonderful things are all a reflection of God's love and creativity. Isn't that a miracle? Thank you, God. Look after my friends and family. And thank you for my friends and family. Amen. Shalom. Namaste. Peace be with you. Merry meet, merry part, blessed be, miigwech. Walk in the shining light of God's love. Whatever language you use when you talk to your higher power, how do you feel when someone talks to you in the language of love? Everybody's more receptive when spoken to in the language of love. That's where we learned it. Take care. God bless. Love you too. Have a wonderful weekend. And if at all possible, there will be a picture of me like this. And you'll see the little back of his bald head and you'll see my face. We'll see. I'm hoping. Take care. God bless. 2 more sleeps. And I'll see my grandbaby. I love you. Mwah. Mwah. Take care. God bless.